What is your American dream?
My American dream is to always feel that we can be ourselves and be accepted being different. That's my American dream, where we can finally embrace differences, accept differences, and include differences.
Well, of course, achieving American dream would be to have a house, a car, but I already have all that. So now it's more like sort of leaving a legacy behind, and again, helping one another, getting to know more people, trying to do good.
This is my dream, to build this organization, to build as well a group for immigrant women and make everyone happy.
My American dream is to be able to write more. That's what I would like to do, and help my community.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. All right, welcome everybody. I don't know if we are live anywhere. Let's check this out. Boy, everything just came at me really fast. Really fast. Let me just move on.
We're live on YouTube.
Oh, wow, very loud. Hello, Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias.
What's up?
Hello, Vanessa Nesquik Contreras. Hello, white guys, whoever they may have been. We're back to Jonathan and Vanessa.
Yes.
It is cold outside, friends.
How's this? Better?
Yes.
Gotta slouch a little bit. Get in the frame. Well, I have a better idea than slouching. I can do this. Watch this.
Let's see what you can
Magic
do.
of television. Just lower my chair.
There you go.
Boom.
There you go.
Are we live on Facebook?
I don't see us on Facebook yet.
Hamana. All right. What's going on, guys?
Nothing much. How you doing?
I am doing fabulous. I saw you left like 3 straight stories about Bradshaw Live on your story. I was just watching it as the credits were rolling. So I'm like, that was a great story there. Fabulous. And then all of a sudden,
now you're here.
And then all of a sudden, Jill goes 3, 2, 1. Now I'm here. I'm like, ooh, hello. How are you? And Vanessa, what's going on?
Nothing. It's been a great day.
Really?
Had a little self-care day.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Tell
you
me
seem
more.
Very zen.
Tell me more about your self-care.
I got a pedicure today. You know, all the great things that girls do. Made some time for that. However, I didn't get to actually do my nails, which was weird because the nail woman wasn't there, but the pedicure woman was there. So there was a little bit of a hiccup there.
Wait. Take that back a second.
That's
okay?
what I said.
Take that back a second. You telling me the woman who does your toes is incapable of doing your fingers? Is that
Yeah,
is
she
that
can't
the
do my
story you're going
fingers.
with? They can't. They
Yeah,
don't do
'cause
fingers. She specializes only in toes. I never heard of such a thing.
Yeah,
Brad,
because
it's
I
not
have
like-
like a
it's not
special
like when you
thing
and I
on my
go.
nails.
I mean, you know, when Yo-Yo and I go, you know, the woman does the toes, or a man. Sometimes it's even a man. Does the toes, does the fingers. Even says you want a back massage. They do it all.
They do it all.
But
Not in this
we
place.
don't need too much. We don't need too much. She needs like the gel acrylics, the
The woman didn't do acrylics. Thank you, Yo-Yo.
You see, all this woman stuff, I just don't get it. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
But
it's just like guys. It's just like when we go to our favorite barber. We don't just go to any barber. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. You know, they can't all do the same nails.
well, you know who my barber is these days?
Yeah, Brad.
Uncle Brad's my old barber. I just took the thing and go, "Meow." I love it.
There you go. That's all you got to do.
It's a great feeling of power when you do that, and you just shave it off. And when you do your hair, is it like a great feeling of power to you?
Absolutely,
Right.
because I look like crap before and then I look great after, and for free.
That's right, and you have some machine in your hand doing it, so you feel like
Yeah.
like like you're working for this. Right.
I got to actually
Oh.
because I got to fade it. So
You see, I'm completely different. I'm like Edward Scissorhands. I'm like, and I'm done.
Yeah.
You know
It's
that
definitely
guy?
a different type of feeling that
Yeah.
you probably experienced.
I didn't pamper myself today at all. I was working all day. I had
Yeah.
no pampering. Nobody pampered me at all. Zero
I
pampering.
didn't.
Are we live on Facebook? Are we ready to start our show? I'm just waiting a little bit to see if we're going to get
We're
on
not
Facebook.
yet.
We're still not on
did
Facebook.
I did not get.
Huh. I wonder what's going on with Facebook today.
Refreshing.
Nothing with
I am
Facebook.
as well.
Nothing with Facebook. So what do you think we should do? Should we just continue to talk amongst ourselves until we can get on Facebook, or should we just start the show?
What's the producer saying? Do they know if we're gonna go on Facebook?
I don't know. We're flying blind right now. I have no idea.
Okay, well, I mean, we can still talk.
All right, let's just see. Tell me more about your nails. No, let's say hello. We got to start the show. All right. All right. Hopefully we get live on Facebook very shortly. But in the meantime, we're live on YouTube. And Q saying hello to everybody. Squad up. San Mava. Hi, Brad. Thank you. You are the best for helping all.
Yes.
What a very, very un-Brad squad saying hi to the Brad squad today.
Right.
Facebook is slow to come on as usual, and Facebook right down the tubes.
Yeah, Facebook. I don't understand. I don't understand.
I don't understand either.
Well,
Your
you know,
understanding and my understanding is two different things. Why don't you tell everybody what they need to do on YouTube while we get ready for schmoozing? It's a very unusual Thursday so far, isn't it?
It's a wacky show Thursday. So
It's Wacky Thursday.
No, it is Wacky Thursday. This is true.
Yeah,
This is true.
always something wacky happens on Thursday. What's up with something always wacky happening on Thursday?
So we're just gonna keep on going then?
Yeah, we're just gonna fly around the world now. Wacky World Thursday.
Oh my God! All right,
It's Wacky World Thursday.
listen, it's all good. It's all good. So since we're not on-
Wouldn't it be great if we could just rewind from the beginning and go, you know?
and it also would be
You gotta
great if we
slouch
could-
Yeah, you
again.
gotta slouch again and I'll be out like this.
Yes. All right. Well, I mean, since we're not on Facebook, everybody that's on YouTube, that means that you are the ones that we're talking to right now. We need you guys to please share this to any and everybody, especially if you are usually on Facebook and on YouTube. If you like to double fist, make sure you tell your friends that you know that are on Facebook, that usually watch on Facebook, to come onto YouTube. All right. So it's very easy. Share it. Copy the link and send it to them. Send it to their Facebook inbox, all right? Because we're about to start schmoozing really soon with Brad. He's going to fill us in on the latest news, including what's new on President Biden's stimulus package. Yep. And you already know as well.
And it's Wacky World News Thursday.
And it's Wacky World Thursday. So
This is really...
we'll hear.
No, it's...
Well, not yet.
It's not Wacky World News Thursday yet. It's not Wacky World. What? Just every time we say Wacky World News Thursday doesn't mean we go to Wacky World News. That's down the line. Down the line. Oh my gosh.
I love it.
Yes.
So we'll hear what's going on around the globe, including 4 travelers in China who got their searches on in order to avoid paying extra airline fees. There's a lot.
There's a lot. There's a lot. And by the way, if you're not able to watch us on Facebook, and you can't right now, so you wouldn't be hearing this, you could always call us at our telephone number scrolling at the bottom, 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465. It is also the telephone number to get on our show. We are off to a rough start, but we are still flying. All right. You know what they say when you're a pilot on a plane, you don't not to crash the plane is you always have to be moving forward. As long as the plane is going forward, you won't crash. Absolutely. So we just got to keep going forward. We can't stop.
Let's just keep going.
Right, because otherwise, let me just say something. I'm just curious if I just say this.
Don't say it.
Wacky World News Thursday.
It's Beetlejuice.
It's crazy. What's up with that?
So are we gonna schmooze at any point? Is there coffee? Is there a conversation?
Yeah, by the way, before we get to schmoozing, later today, Vanessa is going to speak with Spar, Bernstein, partner and immigration attorney Shannon LaGuerre about the Violence Against Women's Act, which also covers men and parents. And you're not going to want to miss this because she goes into a lot of detail about VAWA. So if you ever wanted to know everything about what you need to do to prove a VAWA case, you're going to want to stay tuned and watch. And that's a very serious thing that we don't joke around about here. We do joke about other things, but right now I think we're going to get into schmoozing with Brad. All right, so Democrats in the Biden administration, they're continuing with a $1.9 trillion economic rescue package, though they have signaled a willingness to scale back direct payments to Americans. Yesterday, mostly voting along party lines, the House adopted a budget blueprint that included Biden's sweeping aid plan, laying the groundwork for Democrats to push it through on a simple majority. So what we're going to get, guys, is a $1,400 direct payment to many Americans. Hopefully, sometime this will pass next week. It is going under the Biden plan. The full $1,400 payment is going to be limited to individuals earning no more than $75,000 a year. People in the higher incomes are going to earn smaller checks. Republicans' proposal calls for checks only up to $1,000, and that's only for people who earn $50,000 or less. Although late this afternoon, Mitt Romney came out with a proposal that he's trying to make a bipartisan proposal to actually make even more payments, $4,600 to children, to any family with children under the age of 6. And $3,000 additional dollars to anybody with children between the ages of 6 and 17, and that's per child. I mean, if you are, one of those cheaper by the dozen families, where you got a dozen kids, you're going to be getting checks $30,000, $40,000, $50,000.
Wow.
Under the Romney plan.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
But we'll see what happens. Something is going to give, something is going to happen, and we'll know more next week. And I think after that, what's going to happen next is immigration's going to start heating up. They're going to pass stimulus first, then they're going to do immigration. And the reason why now it's all starting to move is that the Democrats finally took control of the Senate yesterday. And they're passing this stimulus bill through something called reconciliation, which means that they only need the Democratic vote to pass it. They don't need any Republicans. They would like to have Republicans come on and make it bipartisan. So what Joe Biden said is he's willing to tinker with some of the details, but the meat and potatoes is Americans who earn $75,000 and less are going to get $1,400. Maybe people who earn more will get a little less than what the Democrats want. Perhaps this Mitt Romney thing, people can jump on board on that. Everybody likes to give money to kids. The downside on giving money, to I guess what the Republican argument would be to give money to parents of children, especially with people with 10, 12 kids. I mean, the reason is because they had to stay home from work. And they are, everybody's distance learning. So these parents lost more than most. although many, but not all, are working from home nevertheless, but they're, it's really a struggle to, it's a big struggle to be able to juggle kids, kids distance learning over a computer on the internet while still trying to put in an 8-hour workday. So most parents are really not able to do it. It's really difficult. So I understand why they're doing it. The Republican argument not to do it is, well, now you're incentivizing people to stay home longer.
Yeah.
But I think given everything, if you give people money, they're going to spend it, and our economy needs it. So,
yeah, that's true.
Given all of that, I'm in favor of it.
Okay. Nice.
What do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, they deserve it. Like you said, it's a rough time for families that have a lot of kids. I know, some friends and older family members that have, a lot of kids at home where they couldn't go, and even new mothers, they can't go to work and stuff. So, I mean, I'm here for it. I don't have any kids, so I'm not going to get any of it, but I'm here for it for the families that need it.
Meanwhile,
I would just hope
go ahead.
it's used wisely. No, I was just going to say, I would just hope that, it would be something that people use wisely and just didn't, go to waste. I don't know, but you never know.
There's no using wisely. There's no such thing as using wisely. Okay, you can't give people money and just say, okay, you can only use it for this. You can't tell people how to use their money.
Use it wisely.
All right. If they want to go to the club and blow it, it's not using it wisely. Although
and catch COVID.
Right. Although the waitress at the club would be very happy with their tips.
Right.
Right. All right. Meanwhile, House prosecutors, they're really managers, House managers, they're the prosecutors for the impeachment against Donald Trump. They have asked Donald Trump to come testify under oath in the impeachment trial that is going to be starting next week. In a letter to Donald Trump, lead impeachment manager Representative Jamie Raskin asked Donald Trump to provide testimony under oath about his conduct on January 6th, either before or during the Senate impeachment trial. The Senate impeachment trial starts on February 9th. Every other president who has been impeached has given testimony. Bill Clinton gave testimony, not at a trial, but in a taped deposition. Donald Trump's attorneys responded right before we got on the air. And you know what they said, Yo-Yo and Vanessa? What do you think they said?
What?
They said, no way he's coming to testify. That's what any lawyer would say. But but they have to have some sort of political, some sort of political spin on it, because if Donald Trump doesn't come testify and there's no reason for him not to come testify if he feels he's innocent, then there has to be some political reason. And the reason he said he's not going to come testify goes back to what their defense is, that the impeachment is unconstitutional because Donald Trump is no longer the president of the United States. So you can't impeach somebody who no longer holds that office. Now, some people may say, well, how could you force somebody, isn't there a right against self-incrimination? You can't force somebody to come testify and self-incriminate themselves. That is only in a criminal trial. Impeachment,
right,
for all intents and purposes, I can't see how impeachment is a criminal trial. Impeachment is a civil. It's a civil trial. If anything, you're looking to see whether you can take him out of a job or keep him from holding a job. So It really has nothing to do with punishing him or sending him into jail. It's about removing him from a job he does, which was the president, or preventing him from getting a job, which would be a future president. That's what this is about. So this is civil. This is not criminal. So there's, number one, there's no right against self-incrimination. So if he doesn't come testify, then there could be an inference under the law that if you refuse to testify, there could be an inference against you, meaning an inference could be a presumption against you that what you would testify would be self-incriminating, that in fact you incited a riot. That's what most judges would give a ruling to a jury to say, well, you can use the fact that he didn't come testify as evidence that maybe he would have testified against his own self-interest. And that would be an inference that a jury can determine on their own. So the fact that he doesn't come and testify does hurt him in a legal stance, but this is a political thing. This is not a legal thing. And people are going to not vote based on the facts, because if you voted based on the facts, he incited a riot. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. But, people are going to CYA because Donald Trump still runs the Republican Party.
Right.
The other choice they have, Yo-Yo and Vanessa, is if he doesn't come testify, the other choice is they can subpoena him to come testify. But if they subpoena him, Donald Trump is going to ignore it. He said, I'm not going to come. Now what you're going to do?
I was just going to say, he wouldn't even show to that.
Right. Now what you're going to do? So at that point, they would have to bring a action in federal court to compel Donald Trump to come. Then there would be a hearing in federal court whether or not he's going to come testify. And that will take months. And then whoever wins or loses is going to appeal to the Court of Appeals. And that will take months. And then whoever wins or loses is going to go to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court will take a year. And at the end of the year, the Supreme Court will probably say, because they don't like to make these political decisions, they will probably kick it back down to a lower court and say, you didn't make the right question. Go back and ask the right questions, and then I will make a decision. So if they subpoena him, there's no guarantee he'll ever come, and he can gum up the works on this impeachment for years and years and years and years and years.
Till after he's dead, probably.
Till after whoever's in Congress right now is no longer in Congress. So, trifling. The Justice Department has now brought more than 180 federal criminal cases against rioters and others connected to the U.S. Capitol siege. Prosecutors are digging into some of the histories of those involved, uncovering that a man named Troy Anthony Smocks has committed stolen valor. I never heard of that term before. Stolen valor means when someone lies about their military service and awards. And a New Mexico county official, Coy Griffin, who said he wanted to return for Biden's inauguration with guns and his car. Newly minted Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas says the type of domestic terrorism seen at the Capitol is one of the greatest threats to the United States right now, echoing the findings of the 2020 Homeland Security Report. So, for all intensive purposes, what is quite ironic is Donald Trump called himself the protector of law and order, and he was actually, Yo-Yo and Vanessa, the actual instigator of lawfulness and disorder.
Yeah.
But, he can claim himself as he please, I guess.
Right, and he said if Biden becomes president, the city's going to be up in flames. Suburbia will never be the same. Seems to be back to where we were in 2016, much calmer.
Right.
That's what it seems to be.
Right. So far, so good.
Yeah, that's what it seems to me. So,
I'm happy.
So, by the way, earlier this week, AOC chronicled her experience on January 6th attack on the Capitol during a nearly 90-minute Instagram video. She said she hid in the bathroom while a man shouted, "Where is she?" She described seeing a Capitol police officer and not knowing if he was there to protect her or to harm her, and said that, like for so many other communities in this country, the presence of police doesn't necessarily signal safety. She also came forward as a sexual assault survivor and said that those who are telling her and others to move on from that day are using the tactics of abusers. The Congresswoman said Republican lawmakers who've supported Trump's baseless claims of election fraud must be held accountable, and said they endanger the lives of others by continuing to hold positions of power. What do you think of all that?
This is my girl. I love her. So anything said, I'm officially guards up.
Oh.
All right. According to statistics from the it is what it is. She says it exactly as it is. According to statistics from the Johns Hopkins University, there are now over 104 million coronavirus cases worldwide. In the United States, more than 26.6 million people have been diagnosed with COVID. More than 530,000 people in the United States have died of COVID. And that would be one death for every minute of the pandemic. Meaning that every minute in the United States, since the pandemic started and we started the quarantine, there's a death for every minute that we've spent since we started quarantining back in March.
Wow.
I'm hopeful on these vaccinations.
And
Some of
finally,
these numbers.
Deborah Archer, a professor of New York University School of Law with expertise in civil rights and racial justice, has become the first black person in the 101-year history of the American Civil Liberties Union. I can't imagine that in 101 years of the ACLU, there's been no black person who's run it.
Really?
That's trifling to me. I'm actually like, what?
Do we think maybe she's the first black female, or?
No, we think she's the first black person in the 101-year history of the American. I'm reading it right here. It's trifling to me, Yo-Yo.
That's wild.
That definitely trifling.
She succeeds Susan Herman. I remember her. She was a professor at Brooklyn Law School. I think she was there when I went to law school there. I remember her.
Really?
I didn't know she was the head of the ACLU, who served as president since 2008. As the ACLU's 8th president since 1920, Archer will act as chair of its board of the directors, overseeing organizational matters and the setting of civil liberty policies.
Wow.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice! It's Wacky World Thursday news!
Now it's Wacky World Thursday.
When you want Beetlejuice, you don't get him. Oh, there he is. All right, so you hinted at this at the top of the show, Vanessa. For travelers, reportedly devoured 66 pounds of oranges at a Chinese airport to avoid paying extra airline fees. Now, you know, like when you go in and you have to weigh your bags? Well, these bags were full of oranges, and they didn't want to pay the extra airline fees for the extra poundage of the oranges. So instead of just saying, I'm going to give the oranges away, we'll, throw them out if necessary, they decided to eat 66 pounds of oranges.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, the 4 men gobbled 66 pounds of oranges in 30 minutes at a Kunming airport after attempting to bring a giant box of fruit back home from a business trip in the Yunnan province. The group, identified as co-workers, had decided to consume the oranges after learning it would be about $46 to pay the extra baggage fees. Said one of the travelers, his name was Wang. We don't know if Wang was the first name or the last name. He just goes by Wang. Says, we just stood there and ate the whole thing. It took 20 minutes. After chowing down, however, the citrus reportedly left some painful sores in their mouth. Now, at least one of the travelers claim he's had his fill of the fruit forever, declaring, we never want to see any more oranges again.
You know what? I feel for them. Because I'm the guy.
Brad.
The reason why I feel for
what
them
do you feel?
Can I talk? Look, listen. The reason why I feel for them is because I'm the guy that always overpacks. So I'm the one who always holds the line up. They're like, hey, you're going to have to pay this, or you're going to have to find some way to take out 15 pounds. So what I usually do, I mean, obviously it's not with fruit, but what I have to do is like literally take out clothes and wear about 6 outfits and then close the suitcase, and now it fits. So, I probably would have been there eating oranges with them too.
Now, I would tell you something, okay? You really have to be not a frugal individual to say,
46,
$46, I'm going to eat 66 pounds of oranges because I don't want to pay $46. I mean, I'm not calling anybody cheap, but I'm certainly saying that's quite frugal. Maybe I'm calling Wang cheap, I'm not sure. Meanwhile, I don't know where this is. Where are we going? Well, Mike Jack, I'm not sure where this is. We're going to figure it out in a second. It's in London no, we don't know where this is. We're going to figure this out. Mike Jack set a Guinness World Record speed mark by eating 3 Carolina Reaper peppers. Those are the world's hottest chili peppers in 9.72 seconds. Guinness noted in a video of his feat last week on Facebook. He winced in pain, he retched, and he required a bucket, later saying, it feels so good, but it hurts so bad. Yeah, I'm going to tell you something. If I had to picture what the guy who would eat 3 Carolina Reaper peppers, the world's hottest chili pepper, in 9.72 seconds, if you had to tell me, what do you think he looks like? I would say that picture, he would definitely, I think I would describe this guy right here. Mike Jack, right? Let's see what Mike Jack looks again. I think that's exactly who I would be describing, who would be doing this, right?
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Right? Like, I mean, if you had to say what guy would eat, who would be the champ? Would be that guy right there.
That guy.
Yeah. Now, Guinness does not appear to mention a previous record on its website. The Smoking Ed's Carolina Reaper pepper packs an average of 1.6 million Scoville heat units. I don't know what that equals.
So I watch Hot Ones, is where this guy, he interviews celebrities, but they have to eat hot wings, and it gets hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter. So like that's like, I guess, like the hot level. So that's the only reason why I know about that word.
Let me tell you what the creator of this pepper says it's like eating. It's like eating.
Of it?
Yeah, somebody had to create this. Okay. So in other words,
oh my God.
Okay. So he said this is like eating molten lava.
What?
It is 200 times hotter than a jalapeno.
Golly.
And a jalapeno is pretty hot.
That looks like the devil's fruit.
Okay. And then he didn't eat one of them. He ate 3 of them.
In 9 seconds.
No. Let's not give Mike Jack too much credit. 9.72 seconds. Okay. If you're able to do it in 9 seconds, we have a countdown, Yo-Yo. Okay, we can do it. So in lieu of me answering immigration questions, we can do a 9-second countdown and see if you want to do 3 jalapeno. These are not jalapenos. 3 Carolina Reaper.
I'm good. Reaper. Do you hear that? The
Reaper.
Grim Reaper.
Grim Reaper. Carolina Reaper.
I'm good.
No.
Would you try one? Would you try one?
No.
To try it?
No.
You don't like spicy?
No. Would you do it for $1,000?
Hell no.
2,000.
It's not enough for the insides of my body to be melting.
All right. $5,000.
I get to chase it. There should be there's a chaser.
What
there's
you saying?
Definitely a chaser.
I just want to see what your threshold level is. No, 3.
3?
Oh, you said 1. I thought you were
okay, one for 5,000.
1, I'll do 5,000.
1 you do for. All right, that's the threshold.
For sure.
What about 2?
10,000.
Really? I thought you would have went more than 10.
2?
2. I thought you would have said 25 grand.
No.
In cash,
It's
tax
an easy
free.
10,000. I'll suffer for like a day.
Right.
What?
I'll suffer for like a day.
All right.
10,000.
10,000 2. But you're not going to do it in 9 seconds.
No.
Like-
I gotta do it on my turn.
You all right? So what would like in 30 minutes? Every 30 minutes.
Yeah, something like that. Did you hear that? It's like eating lava. What?
Yeah.
This is 200 times hotter than a jalapeno, Yo-Yo. I think for $10,000, we would be bringing you to the hospital after the first one. I don't think you'd get to the second one. Yo, we'd be like, out of the way! Out of the way! Yo-Yo just ate a Carolina Reaper! Get up to the hospital!
Just have a bunch of milk around me so I can eat it or drink it. I mean.
All right.
I'll try it.
Let's see what else. All right. So we have, we're going to get to our immigration questions very shortly. I have in my hand 4 more stories. Vanessa, from the top is 1. The second one is 2, 3, and 4. Pick one. 1, 2, 3, or 4. 3. After a nearly decade of lawsuits, Michael and Anne Pacharis of Grignol's Village in France has been ordered to drain a 300 square meter pond on their property due to noisy frogs. And these frogs are very noisy. One nearby neighbor claimed the noise reached up to 63 decibels. For comparison, running a vacuum cleaner is 70 decibels. All right, so that's not so terrible, and it's outside. However, environmental groups argue that the pond's removal would harm at least 6 protected frog species. I can't believe they're going to kill all these frogs because some guy doesn't want to hear them. Move.
Wait, they're going to kill them?
Yeah. Move.
Aw.
Go move.
Right.
You don't like it? Go move.
Nice.
That's it. That's where they live
That's
too.
their home first.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh, I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
I'm mad I picked this one.
Yeah,
one.
Jean-Louis Malfion, the neighbor, first filed suit in 2012. Jean-Louis, go move.
Right.
Okay, but Jean-Louis' claim never raised a complaint with them, and he initially complimented their pond. All right, the defense was he never raised a complaint with them. Jean-Louis never complained, and he was complimenting their pond and inquired about who did the excavation work because he wanted a pond himself. Now, for 9 years, the case jumped between local and regional courts, during which time conservation groups have tried to rescue the frogs prior to the destruction of their habitat. Meanwhile, now, the landowner only has 90 days to finish draining, or they're going to get fined. Kill the frogs or get fined.
I didn't like that story.
I didn't like that story. I don't even find that wacky. That's sad.
That's sad.
That is sad.
Why can't they just move the froggies?
If I was the judge, I would have ordered Jean-Louis to eat 3 Carolina Reapers in 9 seconds.
Right.
That's what my judge's order would have been.
Good job. I like that.
Thank you very much. All right. So in today's Braducation, I'm going to answer the question, will a divorce affect my green card case? Let's watch. People always ask me, Brad, I just got married. The marriage already broke up. I haven't gotten my green card yet. What should I do? I've already been filed for. Well, if you've already been filed for and you haven't gotten your green card yet, you only have 3 options. One is end the marriage, get a divorce, figure out another way. 2 is file an abuse case if in fact you're physically abused or you are the victim of extreme emotional abuse. Or 3, send flowers. Get back together with your spouse. Figure out what your problem is. Go for counseling. You loved each other at one point. Figure it out. Don't just run away and say it's over. Fight for love. Those are your 3 options. Fight for love, abuse case if in fact you're abused, and if you are, get out of the marriage quickly or figure out another way. All right, so we have a lot of empty lines because we're not on Facebook today. We're only on YouTube for some reason. So you can call right now, 1-800-529-5465 to get on our show and get your immigration questions answered. We only have 3 people on hold, which is extraordinarily unusual. By this time, we are solid, all 20 lines filled up. So if you do call, you will get on our show, 1-800-529-5465. That is the number that is scrolling below us right now. And I think we're going to get to the part of our show where I answer your immigration questions and getting answers to your immigration questions. All right, Monica in Boston. Monica, how are you?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. What can I do to help you today?
So actually, I'm planning to apply for my husband's adjustment of status soon, but there's a chance I might move to another state within 1 month or 2. So would you suggest, should I wait for a month or 2 and apply from the next state, or should I apply right now?
If you're going to move in the next month or 2, wait till you get to the next state. If you know your address where you're going to be moving to, do you have the address where you're going to be moving to?
No, not yet.
Okay. Once you know your address where you're moving to and for certain that you're moving, I would just file it in that state. Because if you file it in your current state, you're going to have to transfer the file, and that's going to take longer than just waiting another month and filing it in the state where you're going to be. If you're telling me you're not going to move for another year or longer, or even 9 months or longer, I would say just file it now. Let's get that application in. Let's get your husband a work permit. But if you're literally moving in a month, I would wait a month and then file in your new state. If, for example, you go rent an apartment or rent a home and you already have that rental signed, but you haven't moved to that state yet, you're going to move in a week or 2, file the adjustment in that state. You have the address there. You'll be moving there in a week or 2. It's no big deal. What happened to Monica? Monica, you're there. It's one of those days. Monica. What happened to Monica? We don't know. All right. Let's see who else we got here. Ray.
Yes, hi, Brett.
Hi, Ray. How are you?
Good, thank you. I have a couple of questions. So first, I'm a permanent resident. I received my green card through my spouse. She's a U.S. citizen. And so just recently, back in January, for whatever reason happened, unfortunately, our marriage didn't work out, and my wife filed for divorce. And so now I'm in the process of getting divorced. And when I reviewed the divorce papers, she put in the date of separation back in November of last year, we still live together. I don't know if this is gonna give an issue for me.
Why did she say? She said November of 2020.
Correct.
The reason she did that is because where do you live, in Florida? I don't know what the divorce. I guess Florida, you have to have an abandonment period of time, but there's also no fault divorce, so you don't have to. I would contest the divorce, and if you're going to remove the conditions of your permanent residence, you want to be able to tell the truth, and when the two of you live together.
So I already have my permanent. I have my 10-year green card.
Okay.
I received my 10-year
when
in October.
And then the separation shows November.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a problem too, because if that's not necessarily true when you go to apply for your citizenship, USCIS is going to look at the divorce papers, and if they look closely, they're going to see that you separated weeks, maybe even days after you got your green card, and they're going to say, wait a second, was this even a real marriage, or were you just married to get a green card, and as soon as you got a green card, you guys separated? So again, that could be problematic. No one's going to look at the divorce unless you file for your citizenship. But if you file for your citizenship, it could be problematic. If the divorce is incorrect, I wouldn't go with an incorrect divorce. Okay, what's the rush to get divorced? Go fix it. Go contest it. So you're divorced 3 months later or 4 months later, make it right.
So I have to amend the divorce. So I have to
go to a divorce. I'm not a divorce attorney in Florida, so I don't know what you should be doing. But you should go speak to a divorce attorney and make sure that the factual allegations in the divorce, that the judge will ultimately sign a divorce judgment based on the factual allegations in the divorce, are true.
Hello?
Hello, you hear me?
Yeah, you were breaking up. Can you repeat that again?
I said I am not a divorce attorney in Florida, so I don't know the mechanism to tell you what to do, how to fix a divorce. It's not what I do for a living. What I am telling you, though, is that a immigration officer, when you go to do your citizenship, if they look closely, will notice that you separated from your wife weeks or days after you got your 10-year green card. And they're going to say in a sworn divorce, which is done under penalties of perjury, everybody agreed that you separated 2, 3, 4 weeks after you got your green card. We're going to question the validity of this marriage, and they have a right to do it in your citizenship interview. Nobody's going to look at the divorce unless you file for your citizenship, but that's what's going to happen. So what I am telling you to do is, I don't know the procedure, go to a divorce attorney in Florida and say, I got this problem. Here's a divorce. My wife is divorcing me. The divorce papers are inaccurate. I want it to be accurate because it's going to affect my immigration when I go apply for my citizenship. And what I'm saying to you is, so you wait 3, 4, 5 more months to get a divorce judgment. What is the rush? Make sure it's done right. Make sure it's done honestly and truthfully.
Right. And another question that I have, now that I have to file the taxes, do I still have to file them together or separately?
No, you don't have to file them. You file separately.
Separately?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Let's go to Hassan in Atlanta, Georgia. Hassan.
Hello.
Hi, Hassan.
Hey, I'm Hassan. So I have a question regarding my immigration, N400, biometrics.
Yes.
Biometrics thing. So basically, what happened was I applied for the U.S. citizenship application in the month around January, early Jan, 2020, not 21, and I got my date for Let me put it on iPhone. Yeah, okay. I got my dates on for my biometric appointment on April 2nd, 2020. However, unfortunately, because of COVID, it got canceled. And because of that, they said they're going to extend it to as soon as our offices open. So yes, they said like they around like the month of July, they said our offices are open, and if you don't get the appointment within 90 days, contact us. It's been almost since July. It's been many months, and it's February 4th right now. I still haven't got my appointment or reappointment. However, I contacted them. Like I went to their USCIS website. I sent them inboxed them, sent them like the message, and they replied me back, and they said that you missed your first appointment. I mean, I did not miss my first appointment. They canceled it. Not just that, I even called them to USCIS and actually talked to a representative.
All right, so you're talking to people. Number one, you're talking to people who don't work for USCIS. They're outside contractors who answer the phone. They have absolutely no idea what's going on.
No, actually, I contacted USCIS office, and I talked to a lady. She works there.
What do you want me to tell you?
I want to know why is it
because of COVID, prior Donald Trump, immigration doesn't care about you, and you're doing this on your own and probably doing it incorrect at some point and frustrating yourself. Some combination of all of those.
I mean, the thing is, like, my dad and my brother already got their appointment yet, but me and my mother, we are the ones who are waiting for our appointment, and it's been almost a year now. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure, like, what action should I take? Like, should I just patiently wait for it? Because I also called them, and they said, like, they opened a ticket for me for my appointment, and they said, like, you have to wait for 30 days to get the response. It's not been 30 days, but it's been like 25 days or so since last time I called them. So what would be?
Did you get your work permit?
Work permit. Actually, I'm dependent right now. I'm dependent on like right now I'm independent, but I will be dependent next this upcoming year.
I don't even know what that means. Do you have a work permit?
I'm on green card. Sorry, I'm on green card.
Do you have a work permit?
You mean like?
Did you get a work permit?
Work permit? I don't think so. I don't get it. What do you mean by work permit? Like you mean like
a document a document that says you're allowed to work. You filed an adjustment application, no?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you filed an adjustment application and it's been pending over a year, and you didn't get a work permit, then you did something wrong.
I don't think I did something wrong because
then why are you calling me?
I mean, I'm calling to ask. Like,
you did something wrong, or immigration did something wrong. So I just said, did you get a work permit? And you said, what's a work permit? You don't know what a work permit is.
No, I'm not.
Then how do you? If you don't know what one of the most basic documents that immigration provides you, what makes you an expert to say you did everything perfect?
I mean, I'm not saying I did everything perfect.
Okay, so what I'm saying to you is something went wrong somewhere. Okay, I don't know whether you did it wrong or immigration did it wrong. Okay, but what you're doing right now is you're banging your head against the table. So I asked, did you get a work permit? Because that is a general process of what you would get if you filed an adjustment application. And you said, no, you haven't gotten it. It's been over a year. So I said, that's a problem. Something is wrong. Something went wrong somewhere. So my advice is get a good lawyer to look at it. Look where the process went off the rails. I don't know where the process went off the rails. All I hear you saying is I'm calling and I'm speaking to the immigration service. I spoke to a lady in immigration and I'm telling you, no, you didn't. And you're telling me you did. So you know more than me. You didn't talk to, when you call the 1-800 number, you didn't speak to anybody at immigration. I can guarantee you that.
Like, what do you mean, like, by that?
I just finished telling you they're an outside contractor. That you didn't speak to somebody at immigration. You spoke to a person who's hired by immigration to answer the phones who has no idea what's going on with your case. They're in a different office, in a different situation. Okay, so hold on one second. You're like a disaster. Hold on. Let's go to Ram in Dallas. Ram.
Hey, Brad.
How you doing?
Good. How about you, Brad?
What's going on?
All right. So, Brad, one question. What are the steps that's going to occur after the immigration judge terminates the removal proceeding?
What's the one of the steps? What?
What are the steps that's going to occur after the immigration judge terminates the removal proceeding?
What do you mean? What is the steps that's going to offer after the immigration judge terminates
what is
it?
next after?
After he terminates it? Well,
yeah.
Why is he terminating it? Tell me what's going on.
I was in a removal proceeding, and with the help of joint motion with the chief counsel, we filed a joint motion, and immigration judge terminated the removal proceeding.
What was the joint motion based on? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to adjust your status?
Yes.
Okay. And the judge terminated it, or they rescheduled a new hearing?
No. I checked the A number yesterday, and it was terminated.
Okay. Now, do you have a green card right now, or you have nothing?
No green card.
Okay, where are you from?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm from Nepal.
From Nepal. Okay, how are you getting your green card? Who's sponsoring you?
It's a family-based, married to a U.S. citizen.
Okay. Have you filed that adjustment application?
Yes.
Okay. So, and did you get a work permit?
Yes, I do have a work permit.
So what, did you go for an interview?
For the I-130?
Yeah.
Yes, it was approved. As a result, we applied for the...
Okay, because generally the judges don't terminate the deportation. They schedule for a master calendar and they do an adjustment before the immigration judge. That's usually what happens. So in your particular case, it's unusual that they would terminate it, but if it's terminated, did you file an adjustment application with the I-130 or no?
No, because I was in a removal proceeding.
Okay, so now the next step is on you. So if it's terminated, you have to file an adjustment application now with USCIS.
So I have to pay another fee?
You would have to pay a fee of $1,225 if you haven't filed an adjustment application yet.
I already did.
You just told me you didn't.
No, I did.
So then you don't need. So then you need to notify USCIS that your immigration case was terminated. Here is, you checked online, or you have something signed by a judge?
I checked online this morning, and I went to the Dallas Immigration Court, and they gave me a dismissal letter.
Fine. Okay. So now you got to notify the local USCIS office where you went for an interview, where you filed the adjustment in the I-130, that you have an approved. You have a terminated removal order, so they should complete your adjustment now.
Oh, so I don't need to contact the National, National Benefit Center, or I just have to contact the
Where is your, I don't know, where is your case? You said you went for an interview, so your case should be at the local office, no?
I believe so, because...
I don't know, but I believe so, yeah. So wherever what you have to do is figure out where's your adjustment application right now. So if your adjustment application is at the local office, you got,
because I was in a removal
I know you were. So you want to cover your bases? Write the local office. Write the National Benefit Center.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Brad.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay, but you got to notify them. Say, hey, here's the letter from the judge. It's terminated. Finish my case.
All right.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Good luck.
You too.
Let's go to Thais in Atlanta.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Good. What's going on?
Fred, it's just a question regarding to a friend of mine that got arrested by the Border Patrol. He overstayed his visa, and he was riding the Greyhound bus going to Tampa. And, they do this checking IDs, and they randomly took him to custody. This was in 2018 to 2019. So we could release him by bond, and he's now in removal proceedings. He doesn't have any criminal background or anything like that. So he was married and he filed for adjustment. However, he decided to get divorced. So it's been like few months. So he wants to marry another person. But the problem that he is facing now, he thinks that this person is too, maybe the immigration would think that this person is too old for him. So my question is, would be good for him for his case if he would marry somebody. He's 34 and the person is 49.
All right, so this is the story. How long has he been here in the United States?
Since 2015.
Okay. He needs to show up with a bona fide approved I-130 visa petition.
Okay.
Other than that, he's getting deported. End of story. Okay. It's either
before the because he has his court in October.
Yes, before October. So he needs to come to court with an approved I-130 before October. Okay. So it's either going to be on wife number 1, which he said he ended the marriage, or it's going to be a future wife number 2. There is already a presumption that he married somebody for to avoid deportation if you get married after you're in deportation. So you're already suspect on marriage number 1. He's now divorced and married number 2. That makes him more suspect. The fact that there's an age difference makes it even more suspect. So we're just adding on top of one another. The good news of all of this is this. If it's a real marriage and they live together as husband and wife, who cares what they suspect? Because if you live together, it will be easy to prove it's a real marriage.
Okay.
So don't worry about age. Worry about, is it really real or not? And if it is, then do it. Show up to immigration with the realest real marriage.
All right.
All right?
All right. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. Jake in St. Paul. Jake.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Brad. Please, I just want to ask a few questions, please. I have a buddy of mine, a friend of mine, who has been waiting on his green card for probably almost 2 years now. He filed for adjustment of status from I-751, and he wants to travel to his home country, to Nigeria, to go and see his family. So now, does he apply for an advanced parole or something like that?
No, because he has the I-751. So if he has the I-751 receipt notice, the receipt notice says his employment and travel is extended for 18 months. He travels with that letter and the expired green card. He doesn't need anything else.
Yeah, but that has expired as well.
Oh, okay. Well, then he would need to go down to the local USCIS office, buy his plane ticket, and then go down, because they're not going to let you in without it. Buy the plane ticket, then go down to USCIS, say, I have a pending I-751. Here's my receipt notice. It is expired already. They haven't made a decision on the case. I want to travel to Nigeria. Here's my plane ticket. I'm leaving in a week or 2 weeks or whatever it is. I need a stamp in my passport. And they'll give it to you.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Ray in Southgate, California. Ray.
Yes, thank you for taking my call.
My pleasure.
I have a really quick question regarding section law section 245I. So I just had my interview with an officer trying to fix my situation right here in the United States. But what they're asking me is for more proof of physical presence in the United States in order for me to qualify for these 245I.
All right, well, let me ask you a question. What makes you qualify for 245I? What did you submit?
Well, this is through my dad. I'm in here since 1989.
You've been here.
I have been here.
Okay,
since,
and who filed for your dad that grandfathered you in?
My father.
Who filed for your dad that grandfathered you in? Who was the petitioner?
Well, I don't understand your question.
Okay, you're grandfathering yourself. Okay, 245I is the grandfathering law. And what the grandfathering law says is that if you had something filed prior to December 21st, 2000, and you were physically here on prior to April 30th, 2001, and you were physically here on December 21st, 2000, or you had anything filed before January 14th, 1998, you're grandfathered in. Now, most of the time, when you're saying you're grandfathered in through your dad, it was because your dad had an application filed at some point back in the 80s or 90s. Is that what happened? How did your dad get his green card is my question.
Well, my dad got his green card through, he was working in the farm fields in California.
So he got his green card through the Special Agricultural Worker
Correct.
From 1986. Okay,
Correct.
and then he turned around and filed for you when?
Well, he filed for me really, really later on in 1999 when he became a citizen.
Okay, so now because he filed for you after January 14th, 1998, you got to prove you were here on December 21st, 2000. How old are you?
How old I was?
How old are you right now?
I'm 46.
Okay, so what year were you born?
1973.
Okay, so 83, 93, you said you were here since 89, right?
Correct.
Okay, so 86, 96, so you graduated high school sometime around 93, correct?
Yeah, I graduated in 1993.
Okay,
Yes.
did you bring your high school information to show that you graduated high school in 93?
No.
Okay, start there. Next,
Okay.
did you go to college?
Yeah, I got some college, yes.
Okay, bring transcripts that you were in college in the 90s, 94, 95, 96. Okay, what did you do after college?
I couldn't finish it. I ended up working for a company, which I'm still working for them since 1997.
Okay, so can you have payroll records? Can you go back to the HR person and say, hey, can I get my payroll records from 1997 through 2001? I'm sure they have it somewhere.
Well, I already asked them, but they just can't come up with them, though. I've been asking them already for about a week or so, and they haven't come up with them.
Okay, they can provide a letter saying that you've been employed there since 1997.
Yeah, I took a letter from them to the interview.
Did you file taxes for all these years?
Yeah, I took the taxes as well.
What taxes did you bring?
I brought in all my taxes
From 1997?
1997 all the way through the current present.
If you have your high school, your college, and you bring in your tax returns from 1997 all the way up to 2000 and whatever, you've more than proven it.
Well, that's exactly what I thought, but I don't know if they're being really strict on my case.
Where is this happening? Where is it? Where is this happening?
The one thing I haven't.
Where is this happening?
Sure.
Where?
Oh, this is in. I went to the downtown LA, downtown Los Angeles.
So what I would suggest, Ray, because it sounds like you have enough, have a consultation with me. Let's go through all the documents you submitted, and then we'll figure it out from there. Okay? Because you could always go to the IRS and get and see if they have documentation. Here's another thing you can do. All right? Go. You don't even have to have a consultation with me. You paid taxes all these years? Contact the Social Security Administration. Ask them for a printout of all of your payments into the Social Security program. They will give you a printout that you paid into the Social Security program from 1997 all the way to 2021 because you had a Social Security number. So who pays into the Social Security program and works here if they weren't here? So you were here.
Yes.
That would be definitive proof.
Okay.
All right? That's what I would do.
That's a very good one.
All right?
Well, thank you so much
You're
for
very
your
welcome.
help, all right?
Okay. Ann in Fresno, California. Ann.
Hi, Brad. I have a few questions. This is in regards to my brother. On May of 2019,
right?
He was with his friend when they got shot. His friend died, but my brother was able to make it through. And now he's Baja California because he's running away from the people that killed his friend.
Right.
So basically, he called a lawyer from California, and they told him that he doesn't apply, that he doesn't have a case because USA doesn't have asylum for Mexico.
Okay. Not true. Let's continue. How long has he been here?
He hasn't been here. He's in TJ. He was here back in 2011.
Okay.
But he left.
All right. So he would have to go to the border and apply for asylum.
Okay.
That's what he would do.
Another question.
Yes.
Another question. Is it best if he starts his process?
I'm sorry?
Is it best if he starts his process when right now that he's outside, or he should just turn himself to the border?
No, go to the border and apply for asylum. That's what he should be doing.
And do you know how much would it be?
No, there's no fee to apply for asylum.
Okay then.
All right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Frenchie in Denver, Colorado. Frenchie.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. I just want to ask you a question. I married a guy from Europe, and we got married there, and I brought him here on I-30 spousal visa. After he came, he got his 2 years green card, and in 4 months living together, he left. He said he wasn't happy. He went back to his country. And after that, he sent me a bunch of emails, said that he only want me for the green card. He'll come back and divorce me. So do you think I have a case with the immigration for fraud?
No, I mean you don't have a case for fraud. He defrauded you. You may want to do an annulment. You may want to contact immigration and say, here's evidence that this man committed marriage fraud. Don't give him a visa ever again.
Yeah.
But that's what I would do. But in terms of a case, there's no case for it. But I would do an annulment, and I would submit this evidence to immigration. Say this man committed marriage fraud. He stole my heart, and he committed fraud on the U.S. government to try to get a green card.
Yes.
So yes.
I have a bunch of emails say that I wanted you for a green card.
Yeah. So contact them and show it to them.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Abby in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Abby.
Yes, sir. How are you?
How are you doing?
Good. I have a question. I am a green card holder for I got for petty offensive spirit.
What? A what?
Petty offensive spirit.
For a
petty offense.
A what offense?
Petty offensive like that.
A petty offense.
Yeah.
You're saying a petty offense?
Yes.
Okay.
For speeding.
For speeding.
For speeding 1 to 10. 1 to 10.
1 to 10.
What?
110.
Yeah,
110 miles an hour.
No. 1 to 10.
What is
1 to 10?
Okay. What's the question? I don't know what 1 to 10 means.
Over 10 miles. Over 10 miles.
Okay. Over 10 miles an hour. Okay.
Yeah.
10 miles over the limit. Got it.
Yeah. Yes. Also, I'm waiting for interview for U.S. citizen.
So my answer to you is that speeding 10 miles above the speed limit is not a crime of moral turpitude. It is a driving infraction, and it does not affect your citizenship.
Okay.
So you'll be fine.
For me
no, 10 miles over the speed limit is not affecting your citizenship. There's no law. There's no law that says bad driver, you can't become a citizen.
Yeah. First, it was 19 miles over the speed, and
then they lowered it. Okay, I understand. You're fine.
Yeah,
You're fine. You're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, man.
You're very welcome. All right. Sleep well.
All right.
Fafayo in Arlington, Texas. Fafayo.
Hello, Mr. Brian.
Hi. How are you?
How you doing, sir?
How you doing?
Fine, sir. Yes, I have a question about my sister. She just came from South Africa, and she's on visitor's visa. So I'm trying to see, is there any program she can enroll in at the moment? Because we just got our driver's license today, our permit. So I'm trying to see what kind of...
what type of visa did she come here on?
She came here on B1, B2.
Okay.
Visitor's visa.
So what she could do is enroll in school and try to get a student visa. That would generally what people would do in this situation.
Oh, okay.
All right. There's no program. There's no program to. There's no program to enroll in that. I'm on a B1, B2 visa, and then poof, I get a green card. There's no such thing.
Huh?
There is no poof, I get a green card because I came here on a tourist visa. There's no program.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. J.O. in Boston.
Hello?
Hi, J.O.
Yes, hi. Thank you, sir, for the opportunity of asking our question.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you. So in 2019, I got rejected at AOS. I applied after diversity lottery. I applied for adjustment of status, and I got rejected because I came on an F2 visa and my husband worked. So all of us, me, my husband, and my daughter, we
Why were you doing an
NTA
adjustment? Doing an adjustment based on what?
on DVL lottery.
DV lottery. Okay. Yes. So you got denied because you violated your visitor's visa status.
Yes.
Right.
So the three of us, we received NTAs to go to court, immigration court.
Right.
And I have my date coming in March of 2021. And my daughter just applied for DACA, and hopefully she will get it.
Great.
My husband's date at immigration court is till December of 2021.
Right.
So for me, I talked to a lawyer, and I Googled a little bit to see what I could do. I could apply to asylum and removal of...
Withholding of removal.
Cancellation of removal, yes, please.
Right.
And,
Well, do you have
the
you have children here?
I have one daughter.
How long have you been in the United States?
17 years now.
Okay. Yeah. So the answer would be you would apply for cancellation of removal. That would probably be your strongest case.
But
yeah.
But my daughter is healthy, and we don't really. The lawyer I talked to, he said I can apply, but he doesn't think that I will get.
Well, you have to
anything.
show extreme and unusual hardship to your child. I don't know, I don't know enough about your family, but generally speaking, one child isn't a winning case for extreme and unusual hardship for cancellation removal. That doesn't mean you don't win, and it doesn't mean you can't put together a really good case. I don't know anything about your family, so for you to say, just because the lawyer says, typically one family household loses these cases. Yeah, typically that's the case, but that doesn't mean you can't fight and win the case.
Exactly. But my question was more about prosecutorial discretion.
They don't have it right now.
Oh, okay.
But you should find the best lawyer you can find and put your best foot forward for cancellation removal.
Okay.
All right, hold on.
Thank you. I think I'll contact you back to
Thank
see
you very
your
much.
prices.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. One of these days. By the way, if you didn't get a chance to get your immigration questions answered, you could always follow me on Instagram at @RealBradBernstein. If you follow me on Instagram at @RealBradBernstein, somebody's microphone is on. But if you follow me on Instagram at @RealBradBernstein, you can drop me a DM, and I'll be happy to answer your questions as best as I can. You can also follow us at Brad Show Live. If you follow us at Brad Show Live, you can get the best 1 or 2 minutes of our show live instead of 2 hours. And Yo-Yo?
Yes, you guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And you guys can find me at Vanessa.Contreras TV.
All right. And later, we're going to hear from Spar and Bernstein partner and attorney Shannon LaGuerre, who's going to discuss the Violence Against Women's Act.
Yes, but before we get into social media check-in, now it's time for What's Your Immigration Story, where we take a look at some of the many different personal immigration stories people have shared with us.
My family's from Puerto Rico, Ponce. My father's from Ponce, my mother from Antigua.
I've been here 25 years, just working. I never get nothing from the city. I was born here. Luckily, my mom came here with me in her stomach. I was 4 months. When I was younger, she sent me back over there. I came back when I was 8, and I've been back and forth ever since.
My parents were born in Dominican Republic. I was born here in the States. They came over here when they were at a very young age. My mom came over here when she was like 15. My dad came over when he was like 17. And, you know, we just had a big family over here ever since.
The Irish side of my family, they immigrated through Canada. On my other side of my family, I'm also Polish and German. So we're kind of like that melting pot. So that's kind of our story.
My family comes from Poland, and the last 100 years we come from Brooklyn. But before that, all Polish Brooklyn people now living in New Jersey.
I was born and raised in Pasadena, so I mean, I'm African American. I personally don't have any family members that are immigrants, but they're African American.
My family is from Trinidad. My grandmother moved over here, I want to say in the early 80s, and that's when she brought her family over, and she had to work from the ground up. So it's been a struggle, but for me, being first generation here, I want to, you know, make a name for myself.
I'm born in India, but the last 23 years I'm here. New York give me a lot because this is my hometown.
Meanwhile, here just breaking news, the Yo-Yo and Vanessa, the House of Representatives voted to strip Marjorie Taylor Greene from her committee assignments. You may know her as the loony representative from Georgia who, among other things, said that 9/11 was an inside job. The shootings at Parkland, Sandy Hook, and Las Vegas were staged. Nobody ever died. And
Crazy.
the California wildfires that were set by a PG&E conjunction wire was not really set by PG&E. It was a conspiracy of wealthy Jewish people who put a space laser into space and started the fires.
I don't understand why it took so long to get her out. Like, she was talking crazy. She said she regrets some words of the past, but she did not apologize for any racist or violent rhetoric. And she has been stripped of all her committee assignments, but she's still in the House of Representatives. But will absolutely do nothing to further the interests of her district. I don't understand how anybody can vote for her. Her district is the way suburbs of Atlanta all the way up to Tennessee, to the Chattanooga suburbs, somewhere in there, by the Appalachian Trail. Right. I think I saw it was like 11 Republicans that crossed over.
Yeah, good. It should have been more. It should have been more.
Right.
You know.
How is it not more?
Because Donald Trump supports her.
Right. There's that part.
Yeah. All right, let's go to something we like to call social media check-in. All right, what do we got?
All right, our very first one comes from a VIP Brad Squad member, Ezekiel, saying, my friend is from Nigeria. He came here on a visitor's visa. He's overstayed for 4 years. Does he qualify for a green card, and how can he get one?
I don't know if he overstays for his visa, if he can get one or not. He would need to have a consultation, just like anybody else who's out of status.
Mr. Biggs on YouTube, when is the best time to renew your green card if you're going to expire in January of 2022?
January, you want to do it 6 months before, so June.
Okay, Muhammad Islam on YouTube. What's the update on Biden's amnesty?
We don't have an update yet. We only know what we've read in the newspaper, and what we've read in the newspaper is people in DACA, people who have TPS, they're going to be eligible to adjust their status immediately. People who are out of status as of January 1st, 2021, they're going to get a conditional status for 5 years, and at the end of the 5 years be able to adjust to a green card, and then 3 years later be able to file for their citizenship. We don't know ultimately what the final rules are going to be, so let's wait and see.
Yannicka Sterlizzi GN on YouTube. My husband is a U.S. citizen and I have a 2-year green card. My husband just got approved for Medicaid and I have insurance from my job. Will my husband having Medicaid affect me removing my conditions?
Not removing the conditions, no, but if you got Medicaid and you wanted to adjust your status, it could be a problem.
Joseph Boquin on YouTube. How long does it take to get a work permit and green card if I just took my biometrics on February 1st and USCIS received my case on October 2nd, 2020?
Hopefully very soon. If they received it in October, November, December, January, March or April.
Esther Wamathia on YouTube. I filed for asylum and did my fingerprints in November. I'm still waiting for my interview. Can I apply for a work permit?
If you did an adjustment, yes, you can apply for a work permit. Of course.
Fotini Park on YouTube. Without having prima facie for VAWA, can I get benefits from government agencies? I don't have a work permit or income.
Without getting a prima facie, you're not going to be able to get government benefits. You need to get that.
Jaka on YouTube. I got my birth certificate registered and issued last August for my employment-based I-485 application. Can a late birth registration trigger an RFE?
Yes.
Okay, Mika Starks on YouTube. Are K-1 visas a high priority in 2021? Will they get up to date with interviews and scheduling appointments?
I doubt it. It's going to be a big backlog for a while.
Lilit Kacha Tayan on YouTube. I've been waiting for more than a year after my interview. Been married for 2 years. We filed for an I-485. Is it normal to be waiting this long?
2 years? In these days, it's normal, but you should be filing a mandamus if you've been waiting for more than a year.
Kimberlyn Burris on YouTube. I'm doing an AOS. If I need a second affidavit, should I submit it with the rest of my documents?
Yes.
I'm on a B2 visa.
Yes, submit everything with one time.
Peter Mimba on YouTube. When USCIS says that they are still reviewing your case after the interview, what are they reviewing? How long will it take them to make a decision?
They're reviewing whether or not you're entitled to a green card, and that could be a million different things. It could be they don't believe your relationship, affidavit of support, criminal records, security records, health records, poverty guideline issues. It could be a million things.
Shezel Lopez on YouTube. Where can you go to translate a birth certificate to English from Spanish, and who does that process?
And anybody will do it, and they'll just certify that they did it.
Violet Blackwood on Facebook. If someone was on a SIDGE program but his work got his work permit, and while waiting on his green card, he got a child signed for paternity, but then he was denied, is there anything that can be done? That can be done for the child or for them?
For what? That he had a child out of wedlock?
It seems like it. While waiting on his green card, he got a child signed for,
so what do you mean could anything be done? You had a child out of wedlock, so that's evidence that you're not in a real marriage. That doesn't mean you weren't in a real marriage. It doesn't mean, it means that you're an adulterer. People cheat on their spouses all the time. So you just have a much higher threshold of trying to prove you're in a real marriage with your current wife.
Zaragoza Fam on Facebook. My husband petitioned for my 3 children. 2 of them are already approved and waiting for their interview to be scheduled, but my youngest is still waiting for the DNA. Is NVC waiting for my youngest before my 2 other kids to get their interview scheduled?
No. There's a proclamation that's stopping everybody through about March 31st.
Charlene McDonald on Facebook. Can I file for my stepdaughter in Jamaica even if I owe taxes?
Yes, as long as you're on a payment plan.
McDermott Shirley on Facebook. My friend who filed for her minor and after sent in all that was asked for the medical was done, and even the interview they asked from a specific tax return which was requested, and she was further asked for an insurance report now because she used Medicaid. So it seems to be a problem. The embassy has the minor's passport from December. She heard nothing. What can she do? She's very stressed.
Needs to contact the embassy. I mean, if she submitted everything in December, you got to give them at least 120 days. Let's go through it though. So the minor used Medicaid. That's not going to be a problem.
Yeah, because She further asked for an insurance report now because she had used Medicaid.
Oh, she used Medicaid. No, you're not an insurance report on what Medicaid she used. Yeah, so if she used Medicaid in the last 3 years, it could be a problem.
So that's what she says.
I mean, the answer is we would need to review everything and then see what we can do to overcome whatever is the problem, which is causing you anxiety, obviously.
Leighton Bolton on YouTube, is there a waiver for multiple and re-entry?
No.
Barney Mulinga on Facebook. Through marriage green card, we applied in March 2019. Kids under 18 and up to now, we've not heard anything yet. We must, or what must we do? My conditional green card is due for application for removal of conditions this March, and my green card expires in June. Will it be right for me to travel outside the USA in June while waiting for my renewed green card?
Yes, you're going to get an extension when you file the I-751.
Gina Lindekar on Facebook, my EB3 unskilled, my I-140 approved since November of 2019. Documents from UAE due to pandemic back home in the Philippines, and my document confirmed transfers to the U.S. Philippine Embassy. Any update or prediction on when the schedule will be interviewed?
You're an employment-based case, not minimally till April 1st. We talked yesterday on the show that they're backlogged 300,000 people when they're going to actually start this. So it's going to be a while, unfortunately. 2 more.
Okay. Sachet Kens on Facebook. After DS-260 form file and sent to NVC, how long does it take to get a medical and interview? Husband and wife situation.
Well, once the case is transferred to a U.S. embassy, hopefully 90 to 120 days.
And last one comes from Ninola on Facebook. My brother had granted asylum from IJ. He filed for a green card in 2019, had biometrics, but did not get his green card yet. He also received an I-94 from Federal Plaza back in 2018. He was not accepted today for the CDL test at the DMV. They requested his work authorization. He was told at Federal Plaza that he does not need a work authorization. If he is requested one, can he show an I-94? Is it true? Does he need to have a work authorization if he was granted asylum and a social security number?
He still needs a work permit. He should get one. Apply an I-765. All right. We talk about the Violence Against Women Act all the time on the show. Well, in this edition of Attorney Spotlight, Vanessa spoke with Spar and Bernstein partner and immigration attorney Shannon LaGuerre, who breaks down what VAWA is, who is eligible, and how it can be life-changing for people. Let's watch.
When someone finds themselves in an abusive relationship, they can feel trapped. This is particularly true for non-American citizens who often think they have no protection under U.S. law. The fact is that America has laws in effect to protect those in abusive and dangerous situations. With us to explain is Spar and Bernstein partner and immigration attorney Shannon LaGuerre-Maingrette. Thank you for joining me today, Shannon.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me.
I am great. We get so many questions on the show on VAWA, so I'm really looking forward to going a little more in depth with you. So how is domestic violence defined?
So domestic violence is defined as basically a practice and pattern of abuse. It can be emotional, it can be verbal. So basically it's used by another partner to kind of control another partner. In the cases that we have at Spar and Bernstein, it can be spouses they can be cursing at their spouse. They can be yelling at their spouse. They can also be threatening deportation. That's also deemed to be abuse. And so there's just a wide range of ways to be able to control another partner. So it's of course physical. There's also sexual, there's emotional, there's verbal.
Now, what are the statistics regarding domestic violence in the United States?
So really interestingly enough, 4.8 million women basically are deemed to suffer intimate partner violence. Also, 1 in 10 men actually experience domestic violence, according to the Center for Disease Control, whether it's in a same-sex relationship or whether it's by a woman also. So women also can be abusers, and I think it's really important to talk about that. A lot of times men will come into the office, and when they start talking to me and start telling me about their relationship, I realize that, wait a minute, you are in an abusive relationship. And sometimes they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to be identified as a victim, right? But then at that point, I'm like, we can help you. You're not obligated to be emotionally abused, to feel like you're compelled to stay with this individual because they continue to basically verbally abuse you and make you feel less than a person.
Now, are children also victims in domestic violence situations as well?
So a lot of times when children are living in a household where their parents are being abused, they're going to suffer sometimes what they call post-traumatic stress disorder. And it's just basically, it stunts their growth and their development. This is a crucial time for children when they're basically growing up. And as a result, when they see, let's say, a parent that's being abused, and the parent also is basically crying and depressed and doesn't know what to do, imagine how that can impact a child. When they grow up, unfortunately, a lot of time women who have experienced their parents being abused will also tend to be in abusive relationships. Statistics show boys basically who grow up to be men tend to also be abusive when they grow up, and may also be in an abusive relation too. Also, when they're teenagers, they're prone to become very depressed, and also suicide is really high during that time. So something to take into consideration.
Now, what is the Violence Against Women Act?
So the Violence Against Women Act basically was sponsored by then Senator Joe Biden, now our president, and it was co-sponsored with another Senator, Orrin Hatch, and it was really to protect women. So Violence Against Women Act. So you had a tremendous amount of money used to basically investigate and prosecute these domestic violence crimes that are occurring against women. They basically also established an Office for Violence Against Women under the Department of Justice. It really becomes pertinent for immigrants because it was incorporated into the Immigration and Nationality Act. And so there are a lot of people who are in relationships that are abusive, and they feel compelled to stay in that relationship. And the Violence Against Women Act actually liberated them. It allowed them to be able to say, I can do this on my own. I can self-petition to be able to get a green card because either A, I'm married to someone who is abusive, who is a green card holder or US citizen, so I'm in an abusive relationship. If you are a parent and your child is abusing you and that child is a US citizen, you also can basically petition for yourself. You're not obligated to stay in that relationship. You can self-petition and do it on your own. And also if you are a child under the age of 21, and you are also in an abusive relationship, just like we were talking about, or maybe your parents are basically being abused, you can self-petition or be under your parents' petition. I think the key for why it's so pertinent for immigrants, because so many people come into my office sometimes are like, I don't want him or her to know. I'm afraid if they know that they're gonna come back at me. It is completely private. They don't reach out to the abuser in regards to immigration. Even if I try to get information or I try to access information as an attorney, it's very hard. They keep it as private as possible because they understand what can happen to someone who is abused if the abuser found out. Mail doesn't have to go to the house. A lot of times they will come to my office. So it liberates a lot of immigrants to take control back of their life and to be able to do that. It's the first step, because keep in mind, as we talked about, the pattern, the practice and pattern of abusers is they want that person to feel like they don't have control. They try to basically show the person like, you're nothing. And so as a result, when you're able to do this on your own, you start to feel good about yourself. You're like, you know what, I'm doing something for me and my family, and I don't need this abuser. A lot of people don't know that parents of US citizens can be covered. If you're a parent, if I have a child and my child is abusing me, I can at that point file for VAWA. Children under the age of 21 can also self-petition if they are a victim of domestic violence, or they can be covered under their parents. 21 is a key age. So sometimes people are like, well, I'm 22, I'm 23. I've done cases where people who are up to the age of 25 are able to say that I want to be covered, but because of the abuse that I suffered, I was unable to actually file the petition. And so at that point, even if you're up to the age of 25, you certainly should reach out to our office and we can explore that further. But you just have to show the connection on why you didn't file before 21. And sometimes it's really simple to show. Can you imagine living in a house where you feel helpless? You feel like there's nothing you can do. And let's say your mother's constantly telling you, don't say anything, don't get involved. And you just feel powerless. It's not until they're 23 or sometimes 22 that they feel like that control again. And they feel like I can do this. And at that point, they can also file. Of course, people know if you're married to a US citizen or a green card holder, you can file, and if that person was abusive. You have to be married to the person, but there are a lot of people who are strong enough to say, I'm going to leave this relationship. I want nothing to do with this person any longer. They leave the relationship and they get divorced. You have 2 years from the time you get divorced and the time that you file the application where you can actually file for VAWA. So you can be divorced and still file. 2 years from the time you get divorced where you can actually file the application.
And that's really good information to know. Now, what are the requirements needed to be covered under VAWA's immigration benefits?
So basically, you have to show that you are in a bona fide marriage and that also there was extreme cruelty. So the standard is that the abuse, okay, or the behavior that was demonstrated rose to the level of extreme cruelty. Very, very important. And that's how you're able to say it doesn't only need to be physical, but it could be emotional or verbal. So it has to rise to the level of extreme cruelty. And so again, you need to have documents to show that you guys were living together. If it's a marriage, even for children, you need to show that the parents were living together. So the same things you would do for a marriage-based adjustment of status, you need to demonstrate bills in both your names, a lease in your name. Those documents still go with the VAWA application. And a lot of people don't realize that. And that can be fatal to the case. I have been able to explain that, again, with the control, that there weren't many documents, that the abuser wanted to have everything in their name and did not want to share and put the victim, the spouse, on the documents. So for example, bills or cell phones, and they wanted to be in control of everything. And you are able to make those arguments, and they have been successful. But I think it's really important to keep in mind that you need to understand that you should have documents in both your names as much as possible. You don't have to have evidence, interestingly enough, of the actual abuse, because again, how do you prove that? A lot of people come in and are like, how do you prove abuse? How am I able to do that? A detailed statement really describing what you've been through, how you met this individual, and when the abuse started. A lot of times the abuse sometimes will happen while they're dating. And a lot of times you kind of ignore it because the person will come back and be like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then, you know, they ask that they want to get married and everyone's all excited and everyone's ready to go. And then once you're married, it becomes consistent. It becomes an everyday ritual. And at that point, once you're able to detail that in an affidavit, that is certainly that can be used and brought in and put in with the application. These are basically thoroughly read, vetted by immigration, and is key to a really great VAWA application. Another thing that's very important is for them to be able to go and get counseling. Key. Because number one, it's good for their soul, it's good for their state of mind, it's good for their peace of mind, but also it's great for immigration because you now have a licensed therapist who is listening to this individual and what they've gone through and submitting an evaluation of why this person is suffering sometimes post-traumatic stress disorder as a result of the repeated abuse that they've had to go through. And also will recommend that they continue to go to counseling. Sometimes my clients will say, you know what, I can't afford a private therapist. They can be a little costly. And I'll send them to group counseling. So there's also group therapy sessions when it comes to domestic violence. And that is also used in our application. So you also have to show good moral character, that if you have any kind of criminal issues. So I've had a lot of clients who had some criminal issues and they had to explain it. They had to show that basically what they were either arrested for or convicted of, and whether or not that's a factor for good moral character. And you need to be able to show that too.
Just to reiterate, Shannon, because the squad needs to know, VAWA does cover male victims as well.
It does. We have a large number of male victims that come in. As I indicated before, 1 in 10 men will experience abuse. And a lot of times, again, men tend to be very embarrassed. They don't want to talk about it. And again, it really takes some time sitting down and being able to listen to your client and to hear the story of what they're going through, and taking that time to say, you know what, I want you to understand that you are basically facing domestic violence, emotional abuse. I've had clients that are men that have come in and they were in a what seemed to be a happy relationship, and financially things are going bad, or maybe they were in their country and they had this really glamorous job and it was like almost kind of like a long distance dating. They come here to the United States, and next thing you know, the spouse is angry. Like, wait, what happened? What do you mean you can't support me? What do you mean you don't have the money to be able to contribute? And they're just angry because, again, what they were expecting, this glamorous life, no longer exists, because now you have to work hard and either money is not coming in, they can't find a job, language sometimes can be an issue, and the wives end up being very verbally abusive and making the man feel less than. A lot of times the wives will take it out on the stepchildren. And a lot of times the children are like, I'm just afraid to go outside of my room because I feel that basically I'm going to be attacked. So at that point, basically, a lot of times men don't realize it and they almost kind of blame themselves, but that in itself is abuse. No one should make you feel like you are nobody. And again, if it becomes a practice, a pattern and practice of this happening on an everyday basis or even on an every week basis, it's not acceptable. It is extremely cruel. And that is the standard that people have to keep in mind.
Okay, so I know we get so many questions and so many cases on VAWA, but can you tell us about a successful case that you have settled for a client under the VAWA Act?
I think there's so many that I have, but one that sits in my heart is a woman that had children with her husband, lives with her husband. They are together, living together, but she was being abused almost every day. And he would hold the immigration process over her and like, I'm not going to do this for you. I'm not going anywhere for you. You're going to sit here. And she didn't know what to do. She was just lost and she felt like obligated. And she would tell me, you know, he's such a good father. Like he's a provider, a good father, but just horrible to her. And that's what she would say to me. And she didn't know what to do anymore. She was just lost. And I remember she came in for a consult and I talked to her about VAWA. And I also remember she was like, I'm not going to leave him. That's really what's sad, because sometimes they do feel like I have no other choice. I'm going to remain in this relationship. She talked about how her mom and her dad had been in an abusive relationship and she was going to stay. But she wanted to be legal because she was afraid that she could be deported and that he kept on threatening her with that. And I filed the VAWA. Everything came to our office. It got approved. We went to the interview. She got approved. She had a green card. And I remember she looked like a different person. I felt like she had a little bit glimmer of hope because she had that green card. So another case that sits also on my mind, and I feel we successfully represented her, was that she had called the office. She was sitting in her bathroom and was going to kill herself. And she had been through, not only was she cheated on repeatedly, but he would beat her, but also made her feel like she was not beautiful and just ugly. And I remember she called the office and then Brad reached out to me on my cell phone and I called her immediately. I talked to her. I told her how special she was. I called the police and the ambulance. And then I also called the suicide hotline, and they sat with all of us together. The two of us sat and talked to her, and we were telling her that she's really incredible, that she's an important person. And she was taken to the hospital. She was provided some medication. And then at that point, we basically filed a VAWA for her, and she now has her green card. It's just amazing how this could change people's lives.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. If you or someone you know is involved in a domestic violence or abusive situation, there are resources. The phone number for the National Domestic Violence Hotline is 1-800-799-7233, and their website is thehotline.org. And if you or someone you love needs to file a VAWA case, call Spar and Bernstein at 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Thank you so much, Shannon.
Thank you.
All right, good job, Vanessa, and good job, Shannon. We have to do something we like to call social, not media check-in, social media speed round. What am I saying?
Speed round.
Speed round. We're done checking in. Now we're doing some speed.
Let's do this.
We're doing some speed now.
Let's do it.
All right. I'm sure whatever will go wrong because everything's gone wrong.
Yeah, because it's a wacky
Thursday.
Today.
Right. All of a sudden, flames go to cross again now. You can't say that.
This is gonna go right, though. This is gonna go right.
All right. You ready?
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, you guys are gonna show. Oh, I was about to say, don't show my face. I look crazy.
I know. I get all up in the screen.
I know. Me too. All right. Are CNAs essential workers?
CNAs, yes.
Can a green card holder or a citizen apply for a step sibling?
Yes.
How long does adjustment take after marrying a green card holder?
About a year and change.
How long does it take to get a receipt from USCIS for a work permit?
About 2 months.
Can a deportee be pardoned for a drug offense and returned to the U.S.?
Yes.
Mom filed for my siblings but recently passed. Is the case still valid?
If the I-130 was approved and then mom passed, or the beneficiaries are in America.
Can a documented person deposit their stimulus check?
Yes.
When can you file for citizenship after receiving a green card?
3 years, marriage, 5 years otherwise.
Can my husband file for my daughter 2 weeks before her 18th birthday?
Yes.
We did it! No! We did it! Take it back.
No, we got
what? And they blew me up anyway.
There it goes. There it is.
Hey.
Yeah, all right. Now I feel better.
There we go. Now we feeling good.
Now I'm feeling good. All right. They made it up with the balloons. They made it up with the balloons. All right.
That was not going to be
Whatever went wrong earlier, it doesn't matter because we won the
That is right.
All that matters.
That is right. It doesn't matter. This was just a wacky World News Thursday. That's all this was.
That's all it was. That's all. Let's brush it off.
Brush it off.
Brush it off.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Comments of the day. Comments of the day.
All right, our first comment of the day comes from Sunshine315 saying, I'm not very vocal on social media, but I just wanted to voice my appreciation for you. Many years ago, before I moved from the Bronx to Tampa, Florida, I used to listen to you on 93.5 religiously. Nice.
Wow. Thank you.
Yes. Also, after I moved, my BFF would call me and place the phone beside the radio so I could continue to listen to you. Thank you for your commitment to helping the immigrant community. Much respect.
Wow. Now that is an old school squatty, right? They're listening to the radio through the telephone.
That's a true Brad Squad VIP.
That is a squat. That's old school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
gotta respect that.
I was on 93.5 since 1999 to about 2016. About 17 years doing this. And then we started this live on YouTube and Facebook.
Now we're here.
And now we're here.
Leveled up.
But that's old school. I like that.
Our next comment of the day comes from Sam Mava, saying, "Hi Brad, thank you. You are the best for helping all."
Aw, thank you very much.
Awesome. And our last one for today, you guys forgot, it is Poetry Thursday. Poetry Thursdays, of course, J Rhymes saying, look, I gotta get it right because I want to make sure I get it right. So it's Thursday and full of snow. If you have questions, talk to Brad. He will help you with your worries through rain, shine, and the flurries.
What? Wait. What? I didn't understand the rhyme at the end. Do that again. I didn't hear the full rhyme. Do that one more time.
Okay.
All right.
One more time. J Rhymes, don't beat me up. All right. It's Thursday and full of snow. If you have a question, Dr. Brad,
Okay.
He will help you with your worries.
Ah.
The rain, shine, and the flurries.
Worries and flurries. I didn't get it the first time. Very good, J. Rhymes. Very
That was good.
I liked it. I missed the worries and flurries. I'm like, what rhymes with flurries? That's why I'm like, read that again.
Yes.
Yeah,
that was great.
All right. So we'll fix our Facebook for next week. We'll be taking off.
We heard from the producer. It will be up.
Okay, great. And we will be taking off tomorrow, but we'll be live back Monday around 6 o'clock. We'll see you all then. Have a great weekend, guys.
So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465.